Today we're going to be talking about how to create an unstoppable momentum in your life and in your business. You know, when I got digging into creating this content, I'm all about momentum. I love momentum. There's nothing better than when you can really find yourself picking up steam and having a real solid momentum in your business. How many of y'all want some momentum in your business? Give me a heck yeah in the chat stream if you want some momentum. What happens with momentum is when you really start doing a lot of the right things right consistently, you start finding results come easier, exposure comes easier. The things that you had to push and push and push and push, you find you don't have to push so hard anymore. You don't have to try so hard anymore. Things just start happening. That's momentum. I'm all about momentum. And when you can really build some momentum in your business, you can put some of the right things in the right place at the right time, and your business starts working for you instead of you constantly having to work your business, right? Momentum's awesome. So as I was creating this content, I'm like, you know, I've experienced momentum in a variety of ways and through different seasons of my life and my business. And I started thinking about, you know, how do you create that? What's the formula to really creating momentum? So where I started with this content, Benjamin, what's up, man? Nice to have you here, buddy. When I started looking towards giving you this content today, I'm like, you know, first of all, I want to describe momentum. So I just did a quick Google search and I looked up the definition of momentum. You know, if you look up the definition of momentum, you know, what you get is not really what I was after. You know, the definition of momentum will say the quantity of motion of a moving body measured as the product of its mass and velocity. You know, that's not exciting. Or you got the impetus gained by a moving object. And, you know, you can go through, and I searched all kinds of varieties and all kinds of different ways. And then I looked up entrepreneurial momentum. What is the definition of entrepreneurial momentum? And I looked up business momentum. What's the definition of business momentum? Anyway, I studied that kind of point for quite some time. And I actually can't tell you once I finally landed on the right definition, but I landed somewhere on an article that described entrepreneurial momentum as a power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. I'm like, that's the one I want. That's the definition right there. This is what we're talking about. When I'm talking about momentum today, I'm talking about a power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. Don't you love that definition? I love that definition. And so I'm like, that's the one I want. And so I captured it, I saved it, wrote it down, and then I just was kind of marinating on it a little bit and thinking about power. Because to me, power and strength are different. Power to me is when you execute something, you execute it in a way where it has a powerful impact, right? So power is when your words sink in differently, when your marketing reaches further than most, when you're doing things that are powerful. Strength is the core of your business. It's the resolve. It's what you're capable of doing. It's your longevity. It's your values. It's all that kind of stuff. So power and strength to me are different. So a power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. What stood out to me in that definition was one word, and it was actually ritual. Ritual stood out to me because when I think of things that we do on a day-to-day basis, when I think about those core fundamentals that you execute in your business every day, I think of routine. I think of daily routine. I didn't think of the word ritual. So ritual stood out to me. So then I did some research on ritual and I looked up the definition of ritual. The definition of rituals is a series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed by an individual. I'm going to say that again. A series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed by an individual. That's rituals. There was one word that stood out in that definition as well, which was invariably. And I'm like, what's the definition of invariably? Let me look that up. The definition of invariably is in every case and on every occasion, always. Am I making my point? Somebody put always in the chat stream. So if I form a series of habits and behavior that I execute on every case, and on every occasion, always, I will gain a power, strength, and speed by the development of that process. That's what we're after today. We're talking about your rituals. We're talking about processes, things that you do day in, day out, without fail, in every case and on every occasion, always. Okay? So, under the form of rituals, I'm going to give you what I believe. I'm going to give you 10 rituals that I do. You know, maybe all 10 of these will sink in and resonate with you. Maybe not all of them, but I'm going to give you 10 things that I think are absolute. I'm going to give you 10 things that are absolutely essential in my rituals, and things that I believe have been influential in my ability to gain momentum and to maintain momentum. All right? Let's get into it. Cheers and good morning to you. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. I hope your Thursday is delightful. I hope your week has been short. Your Friday is short. Your weekend is long. The sun is shining wherever you're at, or the snow is bright. One or the other. All right. Rituals. Let's get into number one. I'm going to give you 10 of these. Number one. This I believe is a non-negotiable no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Number one is planning and preparation the night before. Planning your day the night before. If you do not currently do this, I challenge you to do this and just see what it does for your momentum, for your productivity, and for your focus. All right, so this is how I go about it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I talk about this a lot, but this is 2 things that I do every single day that I think are crucial. First of all, is I give myself a 30-minute block of time at the end of every single day to review the day that I just finished and plan my tomorrow so that I know what I need to do tomorrow. I ask myself a series of 5 questions, and I write the answers down to each of these 5 questions. Question number 1 is, what were my priorities today and were they accomplished? Question number 2 is, what did I learn today? Question number 3 is, what do I need to implement? Question number 4 is, could I have done anything better today or more effectively? Question number 5 is, what could I have eliminated today? If you need to go back through those, you can go back and watch the replay and get those back again. But real fast, question number 1, what were my priorities today and were they accomplished? What did I learn today? What do I need to implement? What could I have done better or more effectively? And what could I have eliminated? That helps me analyze what happened over the course of today. Could I have done that better, more effectively? What do I need to implement? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to plan my day tomorrow. So when I plan my day tomorrow, I plan out whatever my core priorities are for tomorrow. What do I need to accomplish tomorrow? Who am I talking to tomorrow? Do I have any coaching calls? Do I have any projects that I'm working on? I map my day for tomorrow, and it just doesn't take an enormous amount of time if you're already a prepared individual. But I spend probably 30 minutes doing this, but I map out my day, I plan my day, I get folders out, things out, stuff loaded up that I'm going to need for tomorrow. My notes for my broadcast I have printed out and on my desk for tomorrow. Everything's ready for tomorrow, and then I close up shop, go eat dinner, and enjoy my family. That's the first thing I do. But the second thing that I do each day, which I also think is powerful for focus and for productivity, is at the end of the day, just before I go to bed, when the evening's over and we're getting ready for going to bed, I come down to my office and I sit down at my desk for about 5 minutes and I just look over everything that I've prepared for tomorrow. I look at my notes for tomorrow. I look at my projects for tomorrow. I just kind of basically all I'm doing is I'm programming my subconscious, because we all know that we only use 10% of our brains, right? 10% of our active brains. That means 90% is your subconscious brain. What I do every night is I program my subconscious. So I come down to my office and I review everything that I have for tomorrow. I think about my clients. I picture your face in my mind. I picture the projects I'm working on, the coaching that I need to do, all that stuff. I program my mind, and then I go to sleep. And basically what I'm doing is I've given my subconscious mind an active set of instructions to work on while I go to bed. So my mind is marinating on all of that stuff before I go to bed. And what I do is I wake up in the morning crystal clear on what I need to do for my day. Also, what usually happens is I'll wake up in the morning with ideas that I didn't have the day before. I'm like, oh, I need to talk to Sherry about this. Or I've got to implement this thing into that website. Or I got a new idea for that logo or whatever. It's because my subconscious has been marinating on that all night. Very powerful. I encourage you to try it. But at number 1, Beth Hoover, what's up, girl? So nice to see you. Happy New Year, buddy. Number one, planning and preparation. I challenge you, if you do not currently do this, to make it a priority to start planning your day the night before and start programming your subconscious the night before and see if it increases your productivity and your focus. Good morning, Renee. Thanks for being here, buddy. All right. Number two, again, we're talking about rituals, ritual habits, how to create an unstoppable momentum in your business. We're looking for that power, that strength, and that speed gained by the development of a ritual process. So I'm giving you 10 rituals that I'm going to challenge you with. Number one is planning and preparing your day the night before. Number two is your alarm clock. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one, but I'm going to challenge you with your alarm clock to be intentional about your alarm clock on when that thing goes off and to get away from that snooze button. If you are a snoozer, make it your mission. Make it your mission to get off that snooze button. Now, I did a training a couple weeks ago. It was like the second week of January where I talked all about the formula for a perfect morning routine. The formula to create, your perfect morning routine. If you need more conversation about the snooze and the alarm clock, I challenge you to go back and watch that broadcast. I can't remember the exact date, but it was like second week of January. That live is right here on my stream, or it's in my podcast if you want to listen to the podcast. But I'm going to challenge you with your alarm clock, because your morning routine, or your alarm clock, is a core component of your ritual habits daily. And the other thing I'm going to tell you this too is, along with that alarm clock, I'm going to tie in your alarm clock in the morning should also be consistent with your alarm clock in the evening. Because I do not believe that you can have an effective morning routine without a disciplined evening routine. Y'all agree with that? I'm going to say that one more time. I do not believe that you can have an effective morning routine unless you have a disciplined evening routine. It's hard to get up at 5 a.m. every single day on the dot without hitting snooze if you're all over the place in the evening. If you go to bed one night at 9, then the other night it's at 11, the other night it's at midnight, then you're at 10, and you're all over the place about when you go to bed. It's hard to be consistent in the morning if you're inconsistent in the evening. So I'm going to challenge you, and again, my broadcast that I talked about, where how to create an effective morning routine, talks about how to set yourself up with a process and a schedule that will work for you in the evening and in the morning. That evening needs to be just as much a part of your discipline as your mornings. Very important, all right? That's alarm clock. Number 3, talking about ritual habits. Number 3 is your first 60 minutes. Now, again, this might not be something necessarily that applies to everybody, but I believe there's a lot of power in the first 60 minutes. So what you do in your first 60 minutes when you get out of bed. Now, for me, obviously the first 60 minutes when I get up, a lot of that is getting around, doing whatever you do in your bathroom to get yourself ready, taking care of, dogs or kids or whatever. But I think even while you're going through your day-to-day stuff that you have to do, you can still do so much to program your mind and to set your mind onto the day ahead. So a lot of my first 60 minutes is doing things around the house and get it up. But also while I'm in that first 60 minutes, I'm intentionally focusing my mind on what is true, what is positive, what is right. I get up and my first thoughts as I'm out of bed is I'm intentionally grateful every day. No matter what is going on in that day, I am intentionally grateful. Even as we have a newborn in the house, on the days where we're waking up and we got zero sleep, and our child is wearing us out because we got a newborn, even in those days, I'm waking up and I'm intentionally grateful for his health. That he's a healthy baby and that he's eating well. And yeah, he didn't sleep real good last night, but I'm so thankful. I've got a friend of mine who had their baby premature at like 26 weeks. The kid was like 1.5 pounds and it was born. They spent the first month of the child's life in the hospital. I know people that have had their newborns and lost them. I mean, one of these days when I have a moment, I'll share with you guys our birth story and what a miracle our baby Jackson is, and the number of times that Satan tried to take his life before he made it to this planet. That kid's going to be a world changer. I can't wait to see what the Lord does in him and through him as he grows up, because Satan sure worked hard on him not to have him be here. And I'll share that with you someday. But But your first 60 minutes is when you program your mind in expectation and an anticipation for what the Lord can and will do with your day today. So if you're the type that hops out of bed and you start going about your morning and you flip on the TV and have news playing in the background, or you're just moseying around about how tired you are and how today's going to be such a hard day, or or you're stressing about bills or whatever, if your mind goes there, it'll stay there and your day will be a reflection of it. So I'm going to challenge you that first 60 minutes. I dare you and I challenge you to try to focus your 60 minutes on that first 60 minutes, having your thoughts be nothing other than what is good, what is positive, what you are thankful for, what the Lord says about you. If you're struggling to control your thoughts in that way, put on praise and worship music and just worship the Lord if need be, in your spirit and in your mind. Love on your kids. Talk to them about how amazing they are. Whatever that is, but try to spend your first hour of your day being positive, being grateful, being uplifting, anticipating and expecting what God can do with your day, and see how it transforms your energy and your spirit and your mind throughout the day. Very important. That's a ritual habit. It's not always easy. And any of y'all that do this, and you're like me, where you are intentional about that thought process when you wake up, it is not always easy. Believe me, I have stress in my life. I have challenges in my life. I have days that don't go well. There are days that I feel like crap when I wake up. There's stuff that happens in my world just like yours. All right. So, but despite whatever Satan is throwing at me every day, I'm still intentional about my psyche and my mind for the minimum the first 60 minutes of every day, because I just know what impact it'll have on my day. I know what'll happen. All right. Number 4, let's keep going. Cheers, y'all, and good morning to you. Everybody give me a cheers and good morning. Let's do a quick reset. Make sure y'all here. Make sure I haven't missed anybody. I think I said good morning to Maggie. Good morning to you. I think I said good morning, but good morning to everybody. I appreciate you. Number 4 is your sweet spot. We're talking about ritual habits, y'all. The importance of establishing ritual habits that you follow every day, in every case, and on every occasion without fail. All right, these are things that are implemented into your day without fail. Number 4 is your sweet spot. Your sweet spot is understanding how you work, how your brain works, how you're wired, and at what point in the day where you are operating at maximum capacity. Do you know when that is? Like, do you know when your sweet spot is? My sweet spot is about 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., roughly. Give or take a few minutes, roughly. That's 3 hours in the day where I am operating at maximum capacity. It's when I'm the clearest. It's when I'm the most energetic. It's when I'm the most focused. It's like this block of time that I am at my very, very best. Doesn't mean that I'm not good outside those 3 hours. It just means that I am at my best during those 3 hours. That's my sweet spot. Understand when your sweet spot is and leverage it. Build your day around that sweet spot if at all possible. And it doesn't have to be in the morning. I know some people that their sweet spot is like 8 to 11 p.m. It's when their day is over and they're able to get through all their stuff. They're able to just focus and grind for that 3 hours. I know people that their sweet spot will be 5-6 hours. That I know someone that's got their sweet spot is about an hour, 1 hour. And so they get the most out of that hour. But I challenge you to make sure that you understand where and when your sweet spot is. Know that that's how you're wired, how your body is wired. And then ask yourself, am I leveraging that time? Is there a way that I can build my schedule around that time so I can get the most out of that time? Because that time is so powerful and it's so important. You want to leverage it as much as possible. So understanding your sweet spot and leveraging it is important. Right along with that, number 5. Number 5 is your 80 and your 20. The 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of your actions only produce 20% of your results, and vice versa. 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results. Y'all agree with that? I 1000% agree with that. 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results. I believe that there are a core fundamental small group of your actions that are producing the most for you. Everything else is just filler. There's so much that we do that's just filler. The problem that I have, and the reason why I really want to beat up on this one for just a second, is, I'll have conversations with people and they're talking about, Justin, I need to generate more revenue. I need to get more results. I need to get more increase. And I'll talk about, all right, what are your key business building activities, or what are your key income producing activities? The first problem is, when I ask that question, a lot of people can't answer that question right off the bat. A lot of people don't even know what their key income producing or business building activities are. So if you don't know what those are, that's your first problem. You want to figure that out. What are my key business building activities, my key income producing activities? What is generating results for me? What are the core things that I have to do every day without fail? All right, so that's the first thing, is understanding those. But then someone might be able to, yeah, Justin, my key income producing activities are this, 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 and this. This is what generates the most results for me. Great. All right, so last week, how much time did you spend? Let's say how many hours in the week. How much did you spend on those activities? Well, last week was a tough week because of the... That's okay. Last week, how much time? I didn't get to spend a lot of time on those last week. All right, well, how about the week before? Well, the week before was this thing and that. Okay. Well, what about the week before? Well, it was the holiday week. What about the week before Christmas? Well, we're getting ready for the holiday week. Well, what about the second week of December? Honestly, I can't remember. I think, I might have had the flu that. All right, what about? And I just keep going back and back and back and back and back. And there's always a reason. And people will tell me, what it really boils down to is, I'll ask you, how many hours in your week did you spend working on your key income producing activities? You know what majority of the answer is? 0. Because I'm busy. Because you're spending the majority of your time on those 80% activities. The 80% of your activities are only producing 20% of your results. You redesigned your logo 18 times. You create something and then question it and then rewrite it and then question it and then rewrite it again. You create a post, you don't like the post, so you rewrite the post, you do the post over again. You question, you reset, you question, you reset, you don't follow through on anything. You're busy. I don't want to do the hard work today, so I'm going to watch another YouTube video. I'm going to watch another training. I'm going to listen to another podcast. You don't need to listen to anything else. You need to execute. You need to figure out what exactly your 20% is. What are those 20% of actions that produce 80% of your results? And then you need to build that into your schedule in a way where it is a ritual habit. You do that every single day without fail, because every single thing else is just filler. And if you are spending all of your time just working on filler, you're never going to be able to produce real results and gain real momentum. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to be talking about, are you busy or are you productive? Because there's a very distinct difference between being productive versus just being busy. And I'm going to give you some ways to work smarter, not harder tomorrow. That's tomorrow's broadcast, all right? But I'm challenging you to identify your 80-20. What are the 20% actions that produce 80% of your results? Define those. Figure out exactly what those are. And then those have to be things that are built into your every single day. And all that filler stuff, all that stuff that I just ran through that you've been spending so much time on, you can't touch that stuff until you've executed the 20% every single day without fail. Again, a series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed every case and on every occasion, always, period. All right? That's your 80-20. Number 5. I love y'all. I yell at you because I love you. Okay? Let's go. Number 6. Number 6 is have a hit list. This is a tip that I've developed myself over years, and I absolutely love it. I find it to be such an impactful part of my productivity. Having a hit list is is removing distractions from your brain. So you might notice if you're ever hanging out with me, or if you're ever watching me on a live or doing Zooms, I always have this notepad with me at all times, and it's always on my desk. That's right. Sherry says, I don't see it as yelling, but as cheering energetically. That's right. I'm cheering you on. I'm coaching you. That's what a coach does. A coach is not, no great coach of any great athlete is going to be like, well, I feel like if you would just try a little harder, that, you know, eventually you're going to be able to get to the level of performance that you can get to. I don't want to, coach. I'm too tired. Well, that's okay. You don't have to. If you want to rest, you can go rest. Is that what a coach does? No. A coach is like, get up and go again because you're fully capable. Stop whining. Get out on that field of play and push yourself because I know what you're capable of and I know where you're headed. And if you would just go harder and go further, you'll get to that level eventually. But you're not going to get anywhere sitting there and taking a bath in your excuses. I'll take that clip and stick it on stories later to remind you of what I just said. What time is it? 8:29. There's a clip for today. Okay, taking a bath in your excuses. All right. Anyway, back to hit list. I always have a notepad on my desk that sits off to my side over here. And what that is that is my distraction hit list. So what happens throughout all of our days, no matter who you are, whether you got kids, no kids, whether you're single, married, have a career, in college, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. Every one of us are bombarded with distractions all day long, constantly. And the distractions, if I were to ask you guys, if I was to say, could you tell me if you could identify your number one distraction? What do you believe your number one biggest distraction is? Somebody would say, it's my kids. It's my dog, Facebook, the TV, mom, the kids and mom. I'd hear it all. I hear it all. Usually people say social media. Social media is my biggest distraction. Or usually social media or kids. Wrong. None of those are the right answer. The number one distraction is your brain. You are your number one distraction. It's everything that goes on up here. All this up here. It's when you sit down to focus and you work and you're starting to focus and work and you're like, did I empty the dishwasher? Did I change over the laundry? Oh, I forgot to call mom back. Did I get that bill? I gotta pay that bill. It's something comes in here that distracts you from what's trying to go on right there, and you stop and pause, and even if you don't get up and go do whatever the distraction is at the time, you still gave it its attention right up here, and it distracts your thought process to the point where then you have to regain focus on what you were working on, the job at hand. Right? Did I shop on Amazon yet? Or Amazon, bing, bing, the Amazon gets delivered and you're like, what did I order on Amazon? Let me go back to Amazon to look at my orders because I have Amazonesia. I can't remember what I even ordered. It's your brain. So this is what I do because I'm the same way. We're the same. I'm the same way. I get distractions and I'm pretty freaking intentional about my time and I still get distracted. So I keep a distraction hit list, and this is your recommendation for today. All right? I keep a hit list. So what happens is anytime I ever get one of those moments where, I got to call mom, did I empty the dishwasher, forgot to tell Courtney about the band concert next Wednesday, whatever, when it comes into my mind, if I'm working and I get that thought, tell Courtney about the band concert or put the band concert in the calendar, I grab my hit list and I just write down band concert next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and I drop it over there and I go right back to work. I do not lose focus. I stay right on job at hand. And all I've done is I've taken the distraction out of my head and put it on paper and set it aside over there. I get it out of my head, drop it on the paper, and keep right to work and focusing on what I'm doing. I don't give it more than the 3 seconds of time that it takes me to write it on the paper, and I go right back to work and I maintain focus on what I'm at. And what happens throughout the day is that this hit list will grow. It'll grow all throughout the day. But then what happens, I get done with my live broadcast, and I'm done with my live broadcast. Let's say I got 15 minutes of time before my 9 o'clock, and my 9 o'clock I got to do something else, so I have 15 minutes of time free, and I'm not focused on anything for that 15 minutes of time. I'll grab my hit list, and I'll be like, what can I knock off my hit list real quick? I can go empty the dishwasher, I can take out the trash, I can text Courtney real quick, and if I get it done, I cross it off, hit whatever many of these things I can hit in 15 minutes, done. And I'm going to my 9 o'clock, and now I'm into my 9 o'clock coaching. And if I'm in the middle of coaching someone, so you guys have done coaching with me, you might see me doing this sometime, where we'll be coaching with someone, and you'll be telling me about something, and we're talking or whatever. You might be talking, or I might be talking, and then right in the middle of talking, I'll grab my notepad and I'll write something down. It's because while I was talking to you, something just came into my brain that was a distraction. It had nothing to do with what you and I are talking about. It just came in my brain. I'll grab my notepad, I'll write that down, set it right back over there, and keep right on talking to you. That way, when our Zoom is over and I have 30 minutes of free time, then I'll go back to this hit list and I'll knock all this stuff out. This does two things. It allows me to maintain my focus and productivity when I'm on a job at hand, but also it helps me be more productive and efficient in my downtime. So when I have 15 or 30 minutes free in my day, instead of just kicking back and waiting for my next appointment to come, I grab this list and I knock off little things off my hit list. And by the end of the day, everything off my hit list is done. I never end a day without knocking things off my hit list. It's always done, but none of these things were a distraction to me. Tip of the day. That's one of the best things that I started doing. I've been doing that for probably 5 years. I love it. And again, I don't allow little things to distract me or disrupt my focus throughout the day. So that's number 6. Try it. I dare you. All right. Number 7. We're gonna go through 4 more, and then I'm gonna get you out of here. All right. Number 7 is trim the fat. Trim the fat is looking at your day, looking at your week, looking at the way you're operating, the things you're doing, what you're focusing on, and ask yourself, what's good and what's great? What's necessary? What's removable? Always be looking for ways to slim your business, to slim your actions, to trim things off your schedule. If there's stuff that I was having a conversation with someone the other day. We were talking about social media and the areas and places that they're posting. And I was asking them, I'm like, all right, so you've been doing this for the longest time, for as far as I know, 2.5 years. And they said actually 3. I said, all right, what do you think about shifting your strategy in this way and doing this instead? And they're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, well, why not? Like, because I've been doing that for so long. Everyone knows that I'm there. That's what I've been doing for like the longest time. I'm like, all right, but where are the results? You've been doing this for 3 years and you're not reaping anywhere near the results that you expected you'd have at this point in time. So don't you want to generate real traffic and real results from the work that you're putting in? Like, yeah, but I don't know. But what about the people that are engaging with me there? Well, they'll come with you, if they don't, they don't, and you build a different audience somewhere else. But if you're not getting results, why keep doing the same thing over and over and over? Like, you need to shift something. Something needs to shift. And I think sometimes it's very easy just to we just get in a rhythm of just doing something, and then we do that same thing for so long that we just keep doing it. Is because it's what we've always done. Or worse, it's what someone told you should be doing. So maybe you started up your business and somebody told you that it was really important for you to do X. And you're like, you're not going to be successful unless you do X. And so you've been doing X for like the longest time, but it's never produced for you. Or maybe it used to produce and it's not producing anymore. At some point in time, you need to stop and look at, what am I doing? And is it working? Or do I need to shift something? Do I need to adjust something? Now, I will tell you that anytime you ever make a shift or make an adjustment in your strategy or in your marketing, always give it 90 days. All right? So if you ever make a significant shift or adjustment, commit to yourself that if I'm going to make this shift or make this adjustment, I'm going to give it at least 90 days to see if it sticks. And if it doesn't, then I might have to shift again. But always give it 90 days to give it enough time to bite. But I'm just going to challenge you. Take a minute as you've stepped into your new year and as you're doing the things that you're doing. Are you just doing the same old stuff because you've always done that same stuff? Or are there things where you're like, I've been doing that for a while. Is it really working? Like going back to that 80-20 rule. I mean, this is how I go about it, y'all. When I'm looking, I'm always hyper focused on my 80-20. What are the 20% of actions that are producing 80% of my results? Are there things that I'm doing that are taking my time and my energy that are not producing in that 80%? It's just filler. Like, how much can I trim away? Because imagine if you trim away some of that stuff that's just good, you're going to get some time back to focus on your great, do more with your great, expand your great, build momentum in your great. Okay? Trim the fat is being aware of the areas of your business that are just good and they're stealing from your great. Okay? Number 8. Again, we're talking about ritual habits. These are things that should be included in your everyday without fail, no matter what, to develop that momentum that you're after. Number 8 is self-care. Self-care. Self-care is different for every single one of us, but every one of us need it, y'all. We all need different things. But whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you are also filling up your own cup. Because a lot of us are pourers, right? We pour on people. We give. We're givers. We're pouring out. But eventually, if you're not finding ways to fill up your own cup, you're going to find yourself running on empty. And then you're going to find yourself wearing yourself out. And then that's where you get sick. Or that's when you have a crash. Or you're emotionally just friggin' tore down and exhausted because you're constantly giving and giving and giving. Self-care is being aware of what you need to recharge yourself, to refill yourself, to get yourself back to 100% battery power so you can keep giving to the people that need you. And the people that need you will be okay with it. It's totally fine. Like, I'm telling you, when's the last time that you took a day off and just did something that you wanted to do all day? When's the last time you took a long weekend and just like, you know what, I'm taking Friday off and I'm going to go and take a 3-day weekend and I'm not going to think about my business. I'm not going to think about my clients. I'm just going to go and enjoy my family or do something fun. When's the last time you actually made time for your hobby? Like something you love to do. I did this last year and it completely made such a difference with me last year because I was working myself to death, wearing myself out, and I wasn't given any time for fun. Like just fun. And so I'm like, you know what? I want to get back to snowboarding. And so I started doing it. So last year, I committed at the beginning of last year that I was going to make time for my hobby. So in the winter, I made time and committed to go snowboarding once a week. And then in the summertime, when the snow melted, I made time to go golfing with my neighbors and my friends once a week. And it's just time where I can just get out and just go and have something fun. Go do something fun. Take a day off today, Sherry Capella. Like, you know what? It's liberating. It is absolutely liberating. And you know what? If your people love and respect you, they will support you. They will encourage it. Those guys that are my people, you're my tribe, my inner circle, where I can tell you the ins and outs of everything that's going on in my world. Like, how many times in just the last year have I been like, y'all, I'm taking the day off. I'm not going to be doing a live broadcast today. I'm going to take Courtney to the lake for the day, or I'm going to go spend some day with my kids, or we got a snow day. So I'm taking my kids sledding and I'll take the day off. I'm doing it. I mean, you got to. Sometimes it might be small things like, you know what? I'm just going to take the afternoon off and I'm going to pick my kids up from school and we're just going to play games and enjoy being home. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I need a break. Sometimes you might say, you know what? I need to get out and you might need to go have a day to yourself. Sherry, you should come to Grand Rapids and I'll take you sledding. It'll be a life-changing experience. We have jumps. My son can teach you how to get the best air and stick the landing. It's amazing. Sherry just said she doesn't sled well, so I mean, yeah, you want to learn how to sled, come over and I'll teach you. Self-care is different for all of us. Sometimes for some of you self-care is I need some quiet at home with a cup of coffee and some chick flicks, and I just want to do nothing. I want to stay in my onesie all day. That might be self-care. For some of you guys, self-care might be I need to get out of the house and just have a day to myself. I need to go shopping. Some of y'all self-care is I need to spend some time doing something that I love. Sometimes some of you self-care is I need to take a week off. Take a week off. I mean, honestly, that is what I love most about being an entrepreneur is literally you can do whatever you want. I tell you what, I'm so grateful for freedom. I'm so grateful for freedom. Like yesterday morning, I get up and I'm getting about my day and get ready to broadcast, and Jackson wakes up and Courtney's exhausted because Jackson was up a lot over throughout the night. She's exhausted, and I'm like, you want me to take him and just I'll just entertain him and just hang out with him downstairs, and you can sleep, have some undistracted sleep. She's like, well, don't you have to work? I'm like, I can do whatever I want. I'm like, I don't have to live broadcast this morning. They'll survive. I got thousands of replays that people can watch if they really want some content this morning. You need some rest. I'm like, do you want me just to clear my morning and you can sleep for 3 hours? She's like, that would be amazing. I said, go to sleep. I've got Jackson. We're going to go hang out in the living room and we're going to have some daddy dude time. And we did, and I did, and it was amazing. Do it. I mean, that's the blessing of owning your own business, is you can do what you want when you need to, when you want, and your people will support it. Sherry Cappon, if you text your group this morning and be like, girls, I am taking the day off because I need some rest. I need to recharge, and I'm going to take a day for myself. Take 2 days. Maybe you need to. Take today and tomorrow off. Be like, you know what, ladies? I am tapped out. I am tired, and I realize I'm getting a little crabby with my family. We've got a whole bunch of new snow. The kids are off school. Harry can take off work. We're going to take 4 days, and we're just going to enjoy a long weekend. So I will see you guys back here on Monday. Why not? Yeah, send Landon over. I'll hang out with Landon. Me and Landon have a great time. All right. Y'all are awesome. Let's keep going. All right, I'm going to wrap you up. Number 8. That was number 8 was self-care. Self-care on yourself, will you? You know what? Write that down. I'm going to self-care on myself today. Because it's necessary. And it charges you up, charges your batteries. And then you come back blazing. It's necessary. All right? This is ritual habits. Meaning you don't do this once now and then you don't do it again for 2 years. You're welcome, Sherry. Are you thanking me because I'm taking Landon, or thanking you for the recommendation for self-care? Just want to make sure I'm accepting the right thank you. Make this a part of a ritual. Make this a something that's a consistent thing that you do. Make it a discipline to do it at least once a month. Once a month. At least one thing once a month that just charges you up. Okay? It's important. Okay. Recap and reset's number 9. Recap and reset. I do this at the end of every week and at the end of every month. Recap and reset at the end of every week and at the end of every month. I do it every Friday and on the last Friday of every month. I look at the actual whole month. So recap and reset is basically I am just looking at what I've done, what's worked, what's not worked, and then reset, trim the fat, adjust where necessary, pivot where necessary, and reset for the week and the month going forward. Always be looking for ways to be better. Momentum is built on when you streamline things. You remove blocks. I mean, really, when I think about momentum, when I'm recapping what I've done, I'm looking at what worked, what didn't work, what was good, what was great. How can I reduce the good, increase the great? And let's go do next week better. That's removing roadblocks. That's removing obstacles. That's pulling things out of the way. They're going to slow down my momentum. I want to be as good as I can be today. I want to be the best that I've ever been today. I want to be the best that I've ever been this week. It's a competition with yourself. It's constantly trying to be better than you have been up until now. Recap and reset. Don't be so always forward thinking that you don't stop and look at what's working, what's not working, and not adjusting where necessary. Because we live in a fast-paced world, y'all. It's a fast-paced world. It's evolving. It's growing. You have to evolve with it. You have to adjust with it. You have to pivot with it. You can't be so stubborn that you just get set in your ways and try to do the same old thing all the time without being cognizant or aware of the world around you and the audience around you and the things going on around you. You've got to be able and be flexible to adjust, all right? The last one I'm going to give you, number 10, is if you can't see it, it won't happen. If you can't see it, it won't happen. I believe the most important essentials to your business, your rituals, your 80-20, the 20% of your actions that are producing 80% of your results have got to be on a calendar or on a schedule where you can see it and commit to it. If you can't see it, it won't happen. On Tuesday, I share with you guys how to design your ideal week and plan ahead to be successful, how to map out your time just like a budget. I challenge you to identify your rituals, the most important aspects of your day, the ritual habits that you're going to regularly and invariably follow every single day without fail, and put them on your calendar, in your phone with an alarm if need be, on your day timer, on a written schedule, wherever it is, however it is that you manage yourself. Your rituals have got to be written down and a part of your schedule to a point where you can see it. You have reminders, you have triggers that trigger those actions. Very important. All right. Now I'm going to give you a couple things and I'm going to wrap you up. All right. So those are your 10 tips on some ideas for rituals that'll really increase your productivity. A couple things I'm going to give you to wrap up. All right. First of all, is rituals are symbolic, meaningful, and created with a purpose. Meaning you have to know why you're doing these things. Again, rituals are symbolic. So each of these things, whatever these rituals you adapt into your ritual schedule, they're symbolic, they're meaningful to you, and they're created with a purpose. Whatever time you choose to set your alarm, that's symbolic to you. You know why you're setting your alarm. You know why you're getting up at that point in time. You know why you have to be disciplined in the evening. If you're going to do things like a hit list, you know why that's symbolic. You know why that's meaningful, because you know how much those little things distract you throughout the day. So to whatever things you put on your schedule as a part of your ritual habits, they have to be meaningful to you, meaning you have to know why you're doing that. Not just, well, John, I'm going to do it because Justin said I should. It's I'm doing this because. I'm doing this because I know it's going to increase my output. It's going to help me be more focused. It's going to reduce the amount of stress or wasted time that I have throughout the day. Whatever. Know why you're doing it. Second thing I'm going to give you is that rituals are internally motivated. No one should have to remind you to execute your rituals. No one should have to inspire you. No one should have to encourage you. They're self-motivated. They're internally motivated. These are things that I am doing daily because I choose to, because I want to, because I know what they're going to produce for me. No one should have to remind you to do your rituals every single day. No one should have to try to encourage you. You shouldn't have to get up in the morning and try to find motivation to do what you need to do today. And I'm making that one a point because I can't tell you the number of people that I have talked to over the years where I have to try to motivate them to do the most important aspects of their business. Why am I more passionate about your results than you are? Why am I working harder on your business than you are? Why don't you have that fire inside of you to do what you need to do? Rituals are internally motivated. It's not up to anybody else but yourself to get up and do what you need to do today. Number 3 is rituals are self-appointed. Self-appointed means the decision has to be yours. Again, no aspect of your ritual habits should be, well, I have to do this because, or Justin told me I should do this because, or I had a coaching call with Justin, he suggested this, so I'm going to do it because he told me I should. It's internally motivated. It's internally appointed, self-appointed. I am choosing to do this. This is my decision to do this. Self-appointed. every day. When that alarm clock goes off in the morning and it's a little earlier than you're used to, or you're not hitting that snooze button for the first time, you need to say to yourself, I am choosing this alarm clock time, and I'm going to get up, and I'm going to get up with a good attitude, and I'm going to start by how grateful I am. I'm most importantly how grateful I am for Justin. I love Justin. Justin's amazing. He's the most impactful thing that's ever happened in my life. I mean, if you don't know what to be grateful for, be grateful for me. That's a good place to start. You could print out a little picture and you could put it next to your alarm clock every morning so that when your alarm clock goes off, I'm smiling at you. Get up. Justin told me to, but I am choosing to. I'm choosing to get up because Justin suggested it. All right. Last one. Y'all ready? Y'all know I love you. Rituals require an all-in mentality. All in. Meaning you are all in on the idea of developing your ritual habits. Right? All in means I'm going to do all of it. Because if you're not going to do all of it, don't do it all. Kelly, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming in from Arkansas. All in means I'm doing all of it. You're either all in or you're all out. Because anything else in the middle is just mediocrity. Someone put mediocrity in the chat stream because I want that to sting a little bit. You're either all in and you're doing it with excellence to the best of your ability. All in does not mean that you don't have days that you fail. All in does not mean that you don't have days where you mess up. All in means that you give it your effort, your best effort, day in, day out. I am all in on being successful. I am all in on generating momentum. I am all in on being the best for my business as possible. Because if you set up in your mind that, well, I'm going to try, or I'm going to start by doing just a couple of these, you're already accepting in your mind that you probably won't do it. If you're either all in or you're all out, because anywhere in the middle is mediocrity. Even the Lord Jesus spits lukewarm out of his mouth. Nobody likes lukewarm anything, and nobody wants you to be lukewarm for your business, especially the people that are paying you or who will pay you. Because I don't know about you, but I will not invest a cent of my money into somebody that I think is only partially committed to their business or to providing the service that I'm hiring them for. Would you? Would you hire someone that you feel is kind of committed to it? Not a chance. Not a chance, all right? That's what I got for you today, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. I know 56 minutes of your time is so valuable. You spent an hour with me this morning, so cheers and good morning to that. Cheers and good morning to you. I appreciate your time and attention. Tomorrow we're going to talk about busy versus productive. Are you productive or are you just busy? I'm going to give you 6 very simple, very powerful ways to work smarter, not harder. That is tomorrow, same time, same place. Join me right back here. Have an amazing Thursday. Be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent. Get about those goals that you have, and I will see you guys all around the web, all right? Take care and God bless y'all.